Okay. Okay, welcome to the college panel.
Hi, I'm Annabelle. I graduated CVHS in 2019. I just graduated from San Jose State this past December. I'm an early childhood development major with a minor in deaf education.
I'm Caleb Thomas, and I graduated 21, and I'm currently going to Chabot for mechanical engineering.
Hi y'all, I'm Clayton. I graduated from Castro Valley in 2016, and my major is social work and human services and psychology.
All right, Phoebe.
Hi, everyone. My name is Phoebe. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a fourth-year student at UCLA. I study psychology and economics, and I minor in environmental systems and society, and I graduated CVHS in 2019.
Val.
Hi guys, I'm Val. I graduated last year in 2022 from CVHS. I went to Chabot throughout high school. I took a couple classes during the semesters, and this is my first year at the 4-year at DePaul in Chicago. I'm majoring in political science.
How's the weather?
Yeah, shocker, yeah. No, I'm used to it though. It's just I had to like be reminded by how cold it can get.
Kelly.
Hi, my name's Calais. I graduated in May 2020. I'm currently going to USC, majoring in pharmacology and drug development with a minor in biopharmaceutical business and concurrently pursuing a master in regulatory science.
Sophia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia Souza. I am a fourth-year business administration major at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, minoring in real property development. And previously, I attended Diablo Valley College.
Rochelle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rochelle Jean-Philippe. I graduated from Castro Valley High in 2019. I currently am a senior at Prairie View A&M University in Prairie View, Texas, majoring in political science with a minor in social work.
Jarrett, who I think was just shooing away someone.
Yeah, sorry, my name's Jarrett Unti. I graduated Castro Valley in 2020. I go to the University of Oregon, go Ducks. I'm getting my bachelor in science and economics and 3 minors in business, more specifically sports business, sustainable business, and business administration. And I'm also in the Clark Honors College as well.
Tochli.
Hi, everyone. I'm Toshli. I graduated year 2021. I'm attending UC Merced, and my major is environmental system science.
All right, so I'm going to start them with some questions and then we'll take questions from the audience. So if some of you would share, how has your college experience been? So share classes, any like ahas about your classes, and then school activities, sports, campus life. Who wants to go?
I'll start it off. If any of you guys are big college football fans, with the sports activity, College Game Day was here at the University of Oregon, probably a highlight of my time here. There's a season sports pass you pay, and you get into all the main athletic events for free. So for big sports
Hold
fans,
on one second. I think we have the wrong speaker on. We're gonna again. Try again.
Hello.
No. Shoot. Try again.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's better. Okay.
Do I need to restart or restart? Okay. So yeah, College Game Day. Big football fan. Probably a highlight of my time here at the U of O. Also a huge sports fan. You can get a sports pass, go to all the games for free. In terms of classes, I wanted a liberal arts education, hence why I'm in the honors college. So my classes were capped at 20 people per professor. So very discussion-based classrooms, and everything is reading and writing based. In terms of my major and minors within the economics and business, classroom size around 60 people per class, and it's all lecture based. You have to make your own connections in those classes because it is a little bit bigger, to make your own study groups and whatnot. My personal experience was freshman year was COVID, so everything was all online, and I think that also has transitioned into the rest of my college experience as well. And other people can probably get into that as well.
Whoever wants to go next, just jump in.
I can go. So I go to USC and I could relate to it's a good school for sports, so sports events are always fun. As far as classes in college, I found that professors are really willing to help you. In my program, it is a little bit smaller, so our classes are about 1 to 20. So there are big lecture halls, but those are more of your GEs, but my specific major classes are smaller. And I found that I've really been able to get to know my professors really well, network with them, and they're really willing to help you. So they reach out to you if they think you might be a good fit for certain internships and whatnot. So that's something I didn't expect at college, but was really pleased to find at my school. And as far as like college life and my campus, I love my campus, and there's always like fun, like free little events that are going on that you can just kind of walk into, see what's going on, and make a lot of great friends. So yeah.
I can talk a little bit about my college experience. I feel like it's been pretty busy at UCLA. There's always something to do. There's like a concert like literally happening tonight. There's like a bunch of Res Life events all the time. It's a little overwhelming trying to figure out like to what extent you can like go out and to what extent you kind of need to study. I'm also in student government right now, which is something that I never thought I was going to do in high school. I was never a part of ASB or leadership or anything. So that's been really cool. I've been able to like learn a lot more about like sustainability and equity, which are like issues that I really care about. And there's a lot of cultural activities too. So I did like some Cantonese language group leading. And that was pretty fun. But I think the biggest plug about UCLA that I can make is that our food is really good. And our residential halls are pretty nice too. They're all like clumped together. So it feels like a big community. And I think we have a 4-year housing guarantee now too. So the university apartment situation is quite nice as well.
Okay, I guess I can talk a little bit. So my school is a private school. So the classes are not huge. I think the biggest class I've had, well, not, I think it's my first year, so I haven't been to many classes, but I think the biggest was like 35 kids. But there's also an honors program that I am, and they make sure that the classroom size is much more smaller. So you have more of an opportunity to get to know your professors. So yeah, there's a lot of resources at my school. You just like in a way you gotta like look for it, but yeah, the college is pretty cool.
I can jump in a little bit. For me, I think my college experience for UC Merced has been fairly enjoyable. I think the teachers really focus on the students learning, and I think that's really important because sometimes with like bigger UCs or bigger classroom sizes, people can just kind of go on and they forget that, you know, students need time to catch up. I really enjoy that there are STEM centers. So if you need tutoring of any kind, you can just pop on in and they have students from all grades willing to help you. I think it's also fairly quiet. That can be a plus or a minus for you, you know, like learning in a very relaxed environment can be what it is. I think one of the only drawbacks is like there isn't a lot of like crazy fun stuff always going on, but you know, like your residential halls will have events and you can always go to other residential hall events, which is almost every weekend. And yeah.
I can go next. Kind of coming from a little bit of a different perspective, I transferred to my 4-year. I graduated in 2019. I don't know if I mentioned that previously, but it was a little different because after I graduated, like COVID hit. And so even if I had gone straight to a 4-year, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to get really involved in like the traditional sense. But for anyone kind of contemplating between like transferring or going straight into a 4-year, if being involved in like academic or social clubs is like super important to you, you will have a better opportunity to get into that sooner. And like if you want to go into leadership, definitely I would say go straight into 4-year. That is my best advice.
So sorry, before you go, Grishel, just bouncing off of that, because you did mention like the two-year college. We have a couple Chabot folks here. Could you talk to a little bit about classes, but also your college experience outside of class?
Okay. So classes at Chabot are really interesting because you know, like when you're going through high school, it's like, oh yeah, everyone goes through high school to graduate, you know, get your high school diploma, then kind of move on to the next stage of your life. But the environment is so different with the classes because it's not only will you come across students who are around your age, you'll actually end up you know, being in some classes with students who are like, you know, as old as like maybe your parents or even, you know, or maybe even the same age as your grandparents. So there's like a wide variety that that Chabot has classes for and serves so many people within the community. So it's really interesting. It's a really great learning experience to be at Chabot or a community college. And then for my experience, I think that um, going to Chabot was huge. It was a it was a great uh, it was a great benefit to me more than I realized. Because at that point in my life, graduating, it was like, oh yeah, I have all these things. I'm passionate about like biology, and I wanted to like become like a physician's assistant. I was going that route, and I just I lost my train of thought. There are also so many resources on campus as well, and being let's see, lost my train of thought again. Hold on. There's so much I want to share, but I want to make sure I specifically say what I want to say. My college experience.
What clubs or activities are you part of? Are you part of it?
Yeah, so I actually work on campus as a peer guide, which is like a student assistant internship position, where you know I help students with like you know the student portal, directions where to go on campus, referring to resources, that kind of thing. And it's actually a paid position as well to work on campus. And they're also involved with the wellness ambassadors too, which has started like a year ago or so, and we're promoting like Chabot Cares mental health resources to students on campus. And then I'm also just recently started comm tutoring, which is tutoring students with like public speaking. So it's really cool experience as well. And there are so many ways to get involved on campus too. Like you have student life, which like manages all the clubs and all the activities that go on campus. And then so many like tutoring resources as well that students have access to. So yeah.
I'm still going to Chabot, and I'm a little less interactive with Chabot because I have a full-time job and a part-time job. But my favorite thing about Chabot is probably the job fairs. I attend every single one, and I try to network and get into jobs that are related to engineering because that's what I want to do. And yeah, just Chabot is a very diverse place. And one of my favorite classes was a history class, and I was the only person there who was under 20 years old. That was a very, very fun experience.
Yeah.
Are either of your jobs now related to engineering?
Not yet. Not yet.
And I totally interrupted Grishel, so go ahead, take it away.
It's all right. Yes, so I go to Prairie View A&M University in Texas, and I go to a historically Black college. So there's about 100 historically Black colleges or universities in the United States. And the experience has been very, very enriching to my entire life, especially coming out of, you know, let me just leave that at that. But going to an HBCU, no shade, but going to an HBCU was a really different and very enriching experience for me. I was a member of Student Government Association, which I also wasn't a part of while I was at Castro Valley High. I am also a member of my school's honors college. I'm in the political science club. I've participated in several different contests, my school's Race and Justice Center. Student life in college is very active. Like there's always going to be a group of people that you can link up with, that you all have similar interests and you can all join and, you know, be together in that. And it's an easy way to make friends. Classes specifically, so as a political science major, most of my classes are lecture / discussion, like it kind of alternates between the two. Lots of sharing of idea. Class sizes are about 30, 20 to 30. And the relationships you build with your professors are really important, I would say, in college. You know, if you have a professor who teaches you a favorite, you know, teaches a subject you really like, get to know them well, it will pay off in the future. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So I went to San Jose State. We're a pretty big campus. We're home to like 60, 70,000 students, mostly because we are like online, in person, a combination of both. But we're also a commuter school, which is why we have also so many students. But class sizes at San Jose are mostly like 30 at the most, for a regular lecture class. But when you have chemistry and biology, those are bigger classes because those contain labs that go on after the lecture. So, whatchamacallit. Those classes are about 100 to 200 kids big. Depending on the school, it can be different, but for San Jose State, that's just how it is. Early childhood, so I work with kids. I don't know if anyone wants to learn more about that, but within, like when you're looking for a major, always look at your school's website, because you'll, like, say you want to do teaching, but there's teaching for like K through 12 or younger kids. And I never knew that until going in, and I made connections with my professors. So that is huge. Making connections with your professors is like the best thing you could do. Office hours, go to them. Like, even if it's just like, hey, can we grab a coffee? Like, professors love doing that. They love making connections with their students. And honestly, it will bump your grade up. So do that. Look at the syllabus. We have syllabus here, like for CVHS classes, but I honestly never really looked at them. But if you look at them, sometimes they hold extra credit on the syllabus. Important days to not come to class. So really do look at the syllabus then. And picking classes can be really difficult, especially if you don't like really know the system really well. But they teach it to you on orientation day, or they should. And you kind of have to go with the flow. But picking classes is a hassle, and you do kind of have to fight for the classes that you're gonna be in. So if you're really interested in a class, look up the professor, look them up, look up their reviews. That can also be really big. That'll determine whether you really like the class or you really don't. So yeah.
So I have a question. It's a little different from what I sent you all in advance, but similar. Looking back to when you were a senior and thinking about what you know now, what is the most important thing you wish you would have known then that you know now, in terms of like applying to college, picking a college, that sort of thing?
I can go first. I definitely would have planned what classes I've taken ahead of time, because for my first 2 semesters, I kind of went with the flow and chose them as I was going. And I feel like I kind of wasted 1 semester, but then I quickly caught on. And also definitely joining programs like STEM programs, other things, and be on top of financial aid. Financial aid is a lifesaver.
Who else wants to go?
Can I piggyback off the financial aid point? I did know this when I applied to college, but I didn't realize the impact that it would have on me as I'm getting ready to leave college. But go where they give you the most money, period. Like I do not personally pay for school as I'm on a scholarship, but I know many people that do. And coming out of college with lots of debt it can hinder you in the future. So if you are able to like talk to your prospective college financial aid office and see what they would give you, please do that ahead of time. Like it is a really, really big lifesaver as you're getting ready to graduate and go into the real world.
I was gonna say same thing, but like I guess on the application side, so I'm not sure exactly the demographic. Okay, cool. Yeah, go for the application fee waivers, you guys. I think like I was being stubborn and like I'm not gonna apply to all these schools. Like college is trying to make money off of me. Just go for the fee waivers, and then they're not gonna be making money off of you, and then you have choices. So definitely do that. Also, join as many student organizations as you can at the start and ask upperclassmen what they think of these orgs. So then you know like which ones like might work the best for you. I listened to all of the other kids on my floor who are all freshmen that didn't know what they were talking about. So don't do what I did.
Yeah, definitely look at the universities like scholarships right now. Like I know CVHS preaches like the UC's A through G requirements. Going to the University of Oregon is cheaper than going to UC for me because the scholarship I got from them. And in addition, look at APs. Like seriously, I had no GEs I had to do. I came in as a sophomore because of all my AP classes I took and the grades I got on them. Like look at what they take for APs. Do they take a 5? Do they take a 4? Will it cover 2 classes? Will it cover 1? Will it cover 3? Those were all things like definitely take a look at for sure.
Yeah, just to piggy off that, yeah, senior year or even like junior year, I would really suggest taking APs and making sure to take the tests too, so that it counts for the credit. And also like doing community college, like kind of concurrently, like during your senior year or even that summer, because then that's less GEs you have to do. And they're a lot easier in community college than in actual college. So like I would have preferred to have done more then so I could focus on my harder classes when actually in college. So getting them done now, you can also graduate earlier. So then that's more money that you're also saving. And then also as far as like applying like as a senior, one thing that I was glad I did was reaching out to college advisors like while I'm in the application process, because then you're able to like learn more about the programs you're interested in. So I was particularly interested in pharmacy, and so I reached out to some of the advisors at the colleges before I even applied, just so I know what school I want to apply for and which one I wouldn't. So if you have a certain field or major you're interested in, you could reach out to those college advisors and they will communicate with you and give you a better idea if you think it's a good fit for you. And that could also help you in selecting your major too. Oh, and then also like your major is a really big part of where you apply to too, I think. A lot of people pick an easy major to get into college, but sometimes it's hard to switch that major when you're in. So really think about the program you are applying to and make sure it might be something for you too.
Anyone else, or I'll move on to another question?
Maybe building off of that a little bit, but also kind of pivoting. I would consider the like environment that you're going to be in. Like if you really think that you know, want to go to Cal Poly, which is where I ended up, but like you want to be in a city, it is not a big city. So like really kind of think about that. And I don't know, just if their values align with like the values you've developed so far. And kind of like, I don't know, there's YouTube videos out there, people like rating the food or like the, I don't know, just general like surrounding area. I would definitely kind of think about that in the back of your mind.
I had something I wanted to add on. Going off of the whole major topic, I think I didn't know this, but some schools, if not most, release these like major webs or major networks, and it shows you like the classes you have to take for that major. So like getting yourself familiar with a major can also help because you can actually structure how many years or summers you might need to take. Like it also is helpful with like organizing your time there.
Well, this is my first year, so I'm not even gonna lie. You're still gonna figure it out. You're still gonna be figuring it out. But honestly, I think what I would tell myself my senior year is apply to scholarships and don't procrastinate. Like most of my tuition is being paid for by my university, but if I would have just put in a little bit more extra effort in scholarships, I could have probably not had to pay for school at all. And I don't know, I don't know if it's mainly seniors in the class, but really do like APs are cool, but really look into dual enrollment, because I started dual enrollment my sophomore year, and I I'm like, well, my school does the quarter system, not the semester system, and I'm gonna be able to graduate earlier than like the people I've met. So really take advantage of community college while you can in high school, and scholarships.
The scholarships, like, they seem like a really big thing, but honestly, they're not. Sometimes it's just a click of a button of like what you are, like who you want to be, and it's just really simple things, and like it's $1,000 right there. I applied for like a 100-word scholarship, and it was like maybe 2 grand, just from clicking a couple buttons. So like, just apply to them.
Questions from the audience before I go back to my list? Anyone? Yes. Okay, we got some questions.
How long was your longest class?
How long was your longest class? What do you mean? Like a 3-hour class, a 1-hour class?
In one day. Yeah. So I was a biology major. I actually completed my biology degree. And I was taking a lot of like bio classes, chem classes, OChem, and a lot of those like they have a approximately 1 hour like lecture, and then there will be like a lab that's like 3 or 4 hours long, because there's a lot of information and a lot of intricate steps that you need to follow like when conducting a lab, especially with organic chemistry, just because of how complicated it is and how many steps it takes to actually complete a lab from start to finish. So that would probably be like the longest, like 4 or 5 hours.
Anyone else have a longer class than that?
Yeah, it's not me personally, but I have a buddy who's going to EMT school, and he has a 10-hour class, 8 a.m., 6 p.m.
It's a job.
Phoebe, were you gonna say something?
Oh, yes. This is not a class that I'm taking. It was a class I tried to take. It was a ceramics class, and it was like 2 times a week, 3 hours and 15 minutes studio. So yeah, the art classes are also long.
Just as like a general overview, I'd say for most of the classes I've taken, they're either 3 times a week, 50 minutes, or 2 times a week, an hour and 20 minutes. If you have a lab, then it'll also be an additional 3 hours, but they don't always run that long.
Okay, we have another question over here. Did you still have a question?
What are some differences between
What are some differences between high school and college from a 10th grader?
Freedom for me, like there's a lot of free time, and my ADHD cannot handle it sometimes. I always procrastinate. I'm always doing something. So like take the time now in high school where you have the resources and you have the help to build proper habits. For sure. You definitely want the freedom, because you have to like do the adulting, as we college students like to call it, as well. So it is needed, but if you're only focusing on one aspect of life, because it is like the start of your life, you're learning how to live by yourself. Build the proper habits in high school for sure.
Going off of that, sorry, I'll make this quick, but learn how to study. If you're one of those people that like can take tests and like get an A just by paying attention in class, good for you. Like I used to be that person. And then even community college was kind of like that. And then you get into like the quarter system when you're taking 20 units, and it is no longer that way. So try to figure out like your learning style, whether it's like visual or auditory, whatever works for you, try to discover that now.
So I think college is amazing. Honestly, a lot better than high school. There's so many social things to get involved in, but it's really important that you need to discipline yourself. You may see 3 clubs that you really want to do, but in reality, you cannot do them all. You could probably do one club, your school, and maybe a job. So it's like really about disciplining yourself. You're also going to see a lot of people doing all these social things and like might wonder like, okay, why can't I do it all? It's a lot. So a big thing is discipline, figuring out like a study plan and study habit for yourself because it's all on you. There's no parent guiding you or telling you what to do. You have to go get the groceries, you have to plan when to cook, and you have to plan when to study. So there's definitely a lot of independence in figuring out how you're going to plan all of that. And so that was probably a really big difference for me. But I really enjoy college and think it's amazing.
Yeah. The biggest difference between college and high school is definitely like your professors care about you, but no one's holding your hand. If you choose not to show up to class, that's on you. And a lot of classes won't even tell you that if you miss 3 classes, they'll drop you. So pay attention to that. And just because you can skip doesn't mean you should.
Anything else? So we only have a couple minutes left. There's another question. Yeah.
How do you plan this?
So scholarships, go to the financial aid session, but does anyone have a quick scholarship tip?
Honestly, just I searched the internet. I really just looked up like easy access scholarships and then just went through everything. And then also used like CVHS and my college's websites as well.
Yeah, I just use my college's financial website, and then they have a scholarship section that'll take you straight to like all the scholarships that they have. So you just like click a bunch of buttons, and it's like all in one column.
We have a robust scholarships website, so check it out. Was there one more hand before we move to the next session? I want to say a huge thank you to our college. Oh my God, you are all amazing, and I wish we had like another hour with you all, but unfortunately we don't. Any last words of advice? Go.
You're gonna be okay. I'm trying to learn that now, but it just learn to be grateful. Like I'm a commuter student, and it's hard, and the feeling of being left out, and but just know it's gonna be worth it. Hopefully, I'm trying to tell myself that, but just know like everybody feels like the same. Like you're like there's gonna be people in your grade feeling exactly like you, and college is like it's not high school. You really have to apply yourself, and it's high school isn't forever, so you're gonna make it, and college will be okay.
Yeah, it's kind of on the similar lines to what Valeria was saying. Is like, you think it's like, oh, we're bogged down with so many things going on in high school, and but at the same time, one of my buddies, that was a couple grades higher than me, was telling me that like, yeah, like enjoy what time you have left in high school, because like once that's over, like you actually essentially starting your life. So just enjoy the time that you have, and stay on top of your grades, and yeah.
Who you are. Oh, one more thing.
Go.
Who you are right now in high school is not who you're going to be in college. You're not going to leave college still caring about the things that you care about right now in high school. The social structure is different, talks about money is different, everything is different. And so if you really like who you are in high school right now, take the time to cultivate that in college, really hone in on what you do and do not like, and build networks around what you do. If you don't like who you are in high school right now, or you want to expand upon that, college is the chance. Like really just take every opportunity for the fullest.
And especially thanks to Val and Gershel, who are on a different 2 hours ahead, I think, maybe time zone. So thank you for staying up late, although you're college students. So thank you all so much. I actually am gonna be on the Zoom for a few more minutes on my phone, so if you guys can hang out, but I'm gonna close it for the guests. Thank you.